Up, black boxers, stop wearing the Mexican colors, the Mexican sombrero, the mariachi uniform, the bow tie, because look what happened to Erickson Lubin yesterday. Knocked out in the second round versus Virgil Ortiz. Oh, no, stay with the sombrero now. No. Stay on with the bow tie, keep that uniform on, get a guitar, and go around Texas right now. Now how you gonna look? Hey, yo, ladies and gentlemen, the boxers that go inside the ring versus a Mexican fighter, and stop, it's watered down. Stop it. Why everybody trying to be Floyd Mayweather? Ain't nobody, not everybody is a Mexicutioner. Stop it. See, because now it's embarrassing. I hope this is the last fighter that's going to put the red, green, and white. So the sombrero, we seen it with Shakur Stevenson versus Gonzalez. We seen it with Montana Love. We seen it with Roger and Floyd Mayweather. We seen it with Errol Spence versus Mikey Garcia. We seen it with Gervonta Tank Davis versus Leo Santa Cruz. We see it time and time again. All right, it's played out. Oh man, but anyway, was an electric night as Virgil Ortiz, second round KO versus Erickson Lubin, sending another statement to the 154-pound division, the most stacked division, the most difficult division in the sport of boxing. Virgil Ortiz is the top dog right now. As you all know, as you all seen, Jerome Boots Ennis and Virgil Ortiz came face to face during the post-fight interview, in which Virgil Ortiz said, yo, come over here, Boots. No, come over here, Boots. Boots was out there, you know what I'm saying, promoting a potential next fight. But I'm a little bit pessimistic when it comes to Jerome Boots Ennis and seeking to fight the big fights, the big names. As you all know, Jerome Boots Ennis had a contract on the table to face Virgil Ortiz, and he declined. He dug Virgil Ortiz, and he also dug Teofimo Lopez, right? You could clarify that with Turkey Al Sheikh, the most respected individual in the sport of boxing right now. So this ain't about punch run boxing or a fan base or a narrative. Turkey Al Sheikh is the one that exposed Jerome Boots Ennis ducking not only Virgil Ortiz but also Teofimo Lopez, in which those are could have been the biggest names in the resume of Jerome Boots Ennis. And if we could all say that Teofimo Lopez avoided the $8 million to fight Devin the Dream Haney, we could also say that Jerome Boots Ennis avoided Virgil Ortiz, that $6 million that was on the table and stuff like that. Like we could say that Brian Norman Jr. dug Jerome Boots Ennis. So let's keep the same energy, unbiasedly, logically, and objectively. As you all know, Jerome Boots Ennis has passed the eye test. He got the goods. But have not got into the ring with an opponent that's really going to test them, right? And a guy like Virgil Ortiz is a guy that's been linked to Jerome Boots Ennis for a while. In the welterweight division, as we all know, Jerome Boots Ennis and Virgil Ortiz was the guys that have come up in that division. Now they're in the 154-pound division, and you've been following the channel, Punch Wrong Boxing, aka Mr. Moonshine himself. I've been telling y'all that the 154-pound division is the most intriguing division and challenging division, in which everybody that has walked to the 154-pound division has looked vulnerable. Even from Canelo Alvarez versus Lara, we've seen Jermell Charlo, the former undisputed king in the 154-pound division with Brian Castano, Tony Harrison. We've seen Fundora struggle versus Brian Mendoza, and early on in his career where he was getting dropped. We've seen the Lara and Brian Castano. We've seen even Virgil Ortiz versus Boachuk. We've seen Terrence Bud Crawford, the pound for pound number 1, 2. You can flip it around versus Madrimov. So everybody, Demis Andre, when he got dropped, you know, a split decision with Martirosyan. So, yo, it's always been a difficult division in the sport of boxing. Always been. Patrick Teixeira was supposed to be the guy. You know what I'm saying? We've seen Brian Castano beat Patrick Teixeira. We've seen Tim Tszyu. When Jermell Charlo was the undisputed champion, everybody was saying that Tim Tszyu was the new boogeyman, that he was already better than Jermell Charlo. Look what happened to Tim Tszyu. Tim Tszyu beat Brian Mendoza, and Fundora beat Tim Tszyu. And Bakram beat Tim Tszyu. Now it's going to be Josh Kelly versus Bakram. And to be honest, I got Josh Kelly winning the upset versus Bakram. You know? Is Xander Zayas is there. Xander Zayas has some good wins, but not a statement victory. Well, I don't think a lot of people feel like he's going to fear anybody in the top 154. But he got the skills to pay the bills. And we got Fundora versus Thurman. Hopefully they're going to be fighting in January or February because that fight was postponed. I'm pessimistic about Boots signing the contract versus Virgil Ortiz. When it came face to face, Boots was just talking about, oh, money is the money. Let's get this money. Let's get this money. My man, you had the money on the table, $6 million with Turkey Al Sheikh. You had the money. Even Eddie Hearn said that was the most money that you ever earned. So the money was always there. So I don't understand why Boots was keep on saying the money, man. Hey, yo, there's only one money made. Yo, for real. Stop with the money made stuff already, man. There's only one floor made with it. And I'm pessimistic about Boots Ennis because he showed us that he has dug big fights. I don't know if it's him. I don't know if it's manager. Virgil Ortiz got a lot of choices. Virgil Ortiz could wait for the winner Fundora and Thurman. Virgil Ortiz could wait for the winner of Bakram versus Josh Kelly. He could wait for the I think that Xander Zayas is gonna be fighting in January, right? Versus Ramos, I believe so. Or not Ramos, somebody else. But anyway, there's a lot of fights for Virgil Ortiz, and there is fights for Boots Ennis, but if it's not going to be with Turkey Al Sheikh, they're going to be low-balling fighters, and that's why he got the Lima fight and not the Josh Kelly fight. So I don't know. They got great momentum. Boots Ennis did end his last fight in the first round KO. Virgil Ortiz in the second round. They could go right back into a fight in February. You know what I'm saying? I believe that they should be fighting right back again, and they should be active. I did like the promo though, and I hope this promo is not like what we saw in 160 when we seen Demetrius Andre jump in the ring and Triple G, and they shook hands and everything, and that fight never came. That unification bout or whatever never came to fruition. You know what I'm saying? At least I want this to be how when Danny Swift Garcia when Keith Thurman jumped in the ring with Danny Swift Garcia after he knocked out, I believe it was Brandon Rios, and they got the fight right after. There's no excuse for this fight not to happen. Whoever's going to be showing Eddie Hearn and Oscar De La Hoya, I know that Oscar De La Hoya has risked it with Virgil Ortiz, so I have no doubt that Oscar De La Hoya is not going to put Virgil Ortiz with a challenging fight, whether it's Boots or whether the other guys in the top guys in the 154-pound division. We've seen Errol Spence and Virgil Ortiz. I believe that Virgil Ortiz versus Errol Spence is actually a more lucrative fight for Virgil Ortiz out there in Dallas. If Errol Spence and Ugas could do almost 40,000 in attendance, imagine what Virgil Ortiz and Errol Spence could do. So, and Errol Spence is still, I know there's going to be people out there, he hasn't been in the ring for 2 years. Man, this is boxing. Nobody be in the ring in 1 year. You know what I'm saying? Like, almost everybody fights 2 times in the span of 2 years. So it doesn't matter. It's about the business of boxing. As much as people want to think as a fan, you also got to think about the business of boxing. Like boxing personnel always say, what makes sense? Errol Spence versus Virgil Ortiz in Dallas makes sense. And the only blemish on Errol Spence's career was a loss versus Terrence Bud Crawford, who now, and we already know what Terrence Bud Crawford beat Canelo Alvarez. So it was a bad performance, but was it a bad loss? If you really think about it, it was a loss, but it ain't that bad because he's arguably lost to a guy that now has been labeled as one of the GOATs in the sport of boxing. He's just not a great. He's one of the GOATs, Terrence Bud Crawford. So that's the only blemish in his career. That's the only blemish in Thurman losing to Manny Pacquiao. So there's a lot of things moving. We've seen Jermell Charlo. I think Jermell Charlo, he says, you know, while I'm back in the 154-pound division, like he did say, ain't nobody took his crown away from him at 154. So regardless of how people feel how his performance was with Canelo Alvarez at 168, you know what I'm saying, at 154, he's the top dog. If you go, he's still one of the top dogs, right? The only thing that's going to be downplaying or is the inactivity of Jermell Charlo, but who cares? I think Virgil Ortiz got the best momentum at 154. I think he's challenged himself more than anybody, maybe Fundura, but I still think Virgil Ortiz got a better resume. That is Lubin, Bowichuk, and Majamov back-to-back at 154. Virgil Ortiz is doing his thing. Let me know what y'all think. I'm pessimistic about it because Jerome Boots Ennis didn't sign the contract, so why now? I don't know. I don't know if this is a commercial. I don't know if this is promotion. I don't know if they're trying to use Virgil Ortiz's name. So for the next fight, everybody's paying attention to Jerome Boots Ennis. But it's a good promo for the sport of boxing. It's gonna have us talking. And now it's not no longer marinating. It has built to one of the best fights in the sport of boxing. But Virgil Ortiz got a lot of options. And it's not a duck if Virgil Ortiz choose anybody in the top 154 rather than Boots, because Boots dug Virgil. So you can't be mad. You know what I'm saying? I can't be mad at Vergil Ortiz if he chooses to fight Errol Spence. I can't be mad if he chooses to fight Jermell Charlo. I can't be mad. A win over Jermell Charlo is probably better than a win over Jerome Boots Ennis. Jerome Boots Ennis is still passing another eye test, ladies and gentlemen. I love Jerome Boots Ennis. If you follow the channel, I was the first one to be talking about Jerome Boots Ennis in this community. I've had tons of interviews with Jerome Boots Ennis before everybody was all hype on him when he was just a showbox fighter. Let me know what y'all think. Subscribe to the channel. Subscribe to the channel. Press the like button. Love you. God bless. And on to the next.